Hello there, good evening to you and welcome to the Clarets match delayed. Hope you're doing fine. We are going to bring you full 90-minute delayed commentary of Saturday's 3 o'clock kick-off between Chelsea and Burnley from Stamford Bridge, and what a day it turned out to be. And for those who are wondering where I was on Friday night, we were due to cover the Arsenal-Leicester game, as you all know, but unfortunately we had some technical problems, and unfortunately we were unable to bring the commentary, which was a shame really, because we missed out on a real classic there. But hopefully this delayed commentary from Saturday will more than make up for that. Burnley really depleted. They'd lost Michael Keane and Andre Gray, as you well know, in the transfer window, and I had my own opinions about it on Wednesday. As for Chelsea, they're having problems strengthening the squad as well, although they do have Morata on the bench. Michy Batshuayi got the start anyway. But what happened on Saturday was unbelievably brilliant. A 90 minutes that had everything in it: goals, controversy, plenty of talking points. So let's get straight to it, as the teams came out of the tunnel at about 10-3 this on Saturday afternoon, and here is my interpretation of what happened on Saturday. Good afternoon, as the teams come out here at Stamford Bridge. Burnley in the white shirts, claret shorts and claret socks. Chelsea, of course, blue shirts, blue shorts and white socks. And the Premier League trophy out on display down below me here at Stamford Bridge. A marvellous occasion, a full house here. Let's take a check on the two teams. Let's start with the Clarets. They're going to go 4-5-1 today, with Tom Heaton in goal, Loughton, Tarkowski, me and Ward at the back four. Gudmundsson, Defoe, Henrik, Cork and Brady get the nod in midfield. Sam Vokes will lead the line on his own. Taylor, Barnes, Westwood, Walters, Long, Pope and Arfield. Jack Cork will now make his third debut for the Clarets at the club that he started his career. James Tarkowski will now replace Michael Keane, of course, and we'll have to see how he goes. And in terms of, will he slip into the Keane role as well as he could. Chelsea going with three at the back here. We'll start with their goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois, of course, Rudiger, who's the debutant in the Premier League, David Luiz and Gary Cahill. Azpilicueta, Cesc Fabregas, N'Golo Kante and Marcos Alonso are the midfield quartet. Willian and Borger, the two centre forwards, and Michy Batshuayi gets the nod ahead of Morata. Caballero, Kennedy, Musonda, Christensen, Tamari and Scott are the other substitutes. Morata is on the bench. Big move from Antonio Conte there to name him amongst the bench, but he thinks Michy Batshuayi should get the nod. And off we go then at Stamford Bridge. Burnley, of course, in the yellow white shirts. They're going to go from right to left in this first half, as Sam Vokes challenges for that early ball. Fabregas picking it on, an early touch there for Cork as he touches it back to the left hand side. And back to goalkeeper Tom Heaton, of course, he's Burnley captain. And well, I said in a tweet at the start, or on Facebook, I said to my friends on Facebook, I think Burnley have got ball up or no hope, but you never know in football. Hopefully we could be all badly wrong and see a famous Burnley victory. Chelsea, in actual fact, have not lost an opening day since 1998, when they lost to Coventry City, and Burnley have not beaten Chelsea, I think, since 1982. So in any division, so this is a real opportunity for them. Remember, they got a 1-1 draw here in 2015, that infamous Matic Barnes incident, of course, and Chelsea, and then it ended up being Chelsea. Only last time these two teams met at Stamford Bridge was about a year ago, when Chelsea won quite handsomely 3-0. As Rudiger goes forward, a number 2 up to the far side, and here's William will take it up. Remember, we saw Chelsea last week in the Community Shield match, and I covered that for the YouTube channel, and they weren't really that impressive, I have to say. Gary Cahill is the new club captain, of course, as we mentioned at Wembley last Sunday. And now the ball back to David Luiz, who in turn knocks it back to Thibaut Courtois. Missed two horrible penalties in that penalty shootout, where we trialled the ABBA system for the first time, where Team A goes first and then Team B gets the next 2, and then Team A gets the next 2, and so on. But I think it's going to be a tough baptism for Chelsea. No Diego Costa, he's got AWOL, plenty of injuries in as well, and the last thing they need now is injuries and suspension. Chelsea, here's Alonso down the left hand side, challenges coming thick and fast, and well won there But Lowton has gone down holding his knee, and it was a pretty feisty challenge by Alonso. He was telling Ward to get up to his Lowton to get to his feet, but I think Lowton is absolutely got every right, because I think he's injured here. That's it. Well, that's an atrocious challenge. Goodmanson had won the ball, but by then the referee Craig Pawson had blown for the free kick. Well, I think Alonso there is pretty lucky actually that it's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game, because if it had been at any other time, whether 10 minutes in or whatever, I don't think he would have got away with it as much. So a free kick on the right hand side. Robbie Brady, who scored on his debut in fact for Burnley at Turf Moor against Chelsea, will take the free kick. 2, 4, 5, 6 white shirts on the edge of that penalty area. About 6 or 7 Chelsea players back as Brady curls it in with his left foot in towards the Chelsea penalty area. Ben Mee coming in on track to the far post with a header towards goal, and in the end Thibaut Courtois, it was a comfortable save, but not such good defending at the back post. It just didn't see Mee come in at the back post. Good early signs there for Burnley in this opening few minutes of the game. I think Chelsea would have to be for the taking. I think Burnley will come with a game plan. I think it was the right thing for Sean Dyche to do, play 5 in midfield and really stifle the attacking foursome, that midfield foursome. But Kante, we know we can score goals. We saw that at Stamford Bridge last season in that cup game. We covered it here against Manchester United as the ball gets whizzed out towards the far side, and Azpilicueta touches back. Runnigan now will try and cross it in, possibly. No, he's using Willian here on the right hand side of Chelsea. Chelsea looking to go forward here and trying to get the first goal and get their season up and running. Remember, they are the champions of the Premier League. Antonio Conte looking to win domestically his 5th title. He's won 3 in Italy with Juventus before that, and obviously won with Chelsea last year in great style. Didn't drop many points, although they had a sticky period at the start, but recovered sufficiently and were deserving of their championship, despite a very gallant run by Tottenham Hotspur towards the end of the season, as Rudiger gets it forward and tries to pick out Alonso, but Lowton very quickly back there, getting it back to his goalkeeper on the right hand side of the penalty box as he looked at it, and he just headed it nonchalantly back to Tom Heaton, who gets on with it quickly, boots it away right-footed up towards Sam Vokes, made away inside the Chelsea half, but it's Azpilicueta to get it away for Chelsea. 4.5 minutes gone, and we're back 4 minutes and 3/4 gone in the first half, and Chelsea no, Burnley no. And I think we're going to have a really good game, and if it's anything like we've seen in the 2 previous games so far in the Premier League, the game last night that we could have covered, we ended up losing power and technical difficulties bringing it to you. That was the Arsenal-Chester game. We get anything like that, and then obviously the game earlier today between Liverpool and Watford that finished 3-3 at Vicarage Road. I think if we get anything like that, I think we're going to have a very good I think you're going to have a good compensation commentary wise, and I'll bring you up to date as well of what we got coming up on the YouTube channel this week. And we're going to be going to Germany midweek, back tomorrow night in fact, and we're going to follow Liverpool's progress as the Champions League final qualifying stages for the Champions League to get into the group stage, and Liverpool will be in action, and they'll be playing I think Hoffenheim, so join us in Germany for that one on Tuesday night, and we'll be live for that, so some live football for you during the midweek, and obviously we'll have the second round of the EFL Cup games to be decided. Ball back to Thibaut Courtois. Burnley incidentally have drawn Blackburn Rovers at Ewood Park in that particular game, which could be a potential televised game, but it's up to the TV guys to decide that for themselves with the EFL. And our first Premier League commentary of the season now. It should have been last night, where we've got Chelsea versus Burnley, and here's Alonso crossing it in there towards Willian in the penalty area, and James Tarkowski there doing terrifically well. That was good. In fact, it was Stephen Ward who got back there. KO now for Chelsea into towards Willian. Now back out to the left hand side. Now Kante picks it up. Kante in field again. Now Fabregas still the chip forward, a bit too strong. Ben Mee as well, and just lets the ball go straight into the arms of Tom Heaton. Says Fabregas, who lost to Arsenal here twice. He's lost to Arsenal twice now at Wembley's old side, and well, remember Chelsea have lost both cup finals to Arsenal. They lost the FA Cup final, which we also covered, and we also lost the Community Shield match, which we also covered last week. Here's Thibaut Courtois for Chelsea, and here comes Rudiger, the new signing, making his debut today. We'll just have to see how the new signings fit in. Jack Cork, one of the Claret's new signings. Charlie Taylor and John Walters are amongst the substitutes. I don't think there's a place in the 16, incidentally, for Phil Bardsley at the moment. I'm not sure how fit he actually is, or how close he was to actually getting into the 16. Here's Azpilicueta with a crossing on the right, and it's well wayward and well wide of target. Well, it went to the extent it went out of play for a goal kick, but I think we're in for a rip-roaring 7 and a bit minutes here. I think we're going to be in for a rip-roaring game. We're just under 8 minutes of the contest gone. There's Sean Dyche, the Burnley manager, and he has done a magnificent job, you have to say, in guiding Burnley to a 16th place finish last season. Only won once away or home last season, and the away form will be something that Burnley will want to take care of better this year. They couldn't have picked a tougher. I mean, the fixture computer was very tough on them, I have to say, in regards to the away games, because I mean, to get Chelsea away, then Tottenham, and then Liverpool away, all in the first 6 games, it's a tough ask, really. But if they could get at least a couple of points from that little flurry of games, they've got to go to Wembley for their next home game. Of course, the home games are a bit easier. I say a bit easier. West Brom, Crystal Palace, and Huddersfield. Although we'll have to see how Huddersfield get on against Huddersfield, who are kicked off at the same time as Burnley here. So David Wagner's put in a decent squad together. I have predicted on LTF that they'll finish at least 19th, but they'll give it a good go. I think Burnley, with major investment, could finish as high as 17th. But here's Willian now towards the right of the penalty area, as he hooks in good crossing there towards the penalty box. Batshuayi was waiting, but the referee had spotted an infringement by Michy Batshuayi, and a free kick it is to Burnley. And that should just ease a little bit of pressure on the Clarets. In fact, it was Borger who was fouling. But Willian there, the Brazilian, showing his class there. No Victor Moses in the side, obviously, because I don't know if he's suspended or not for that for the game. I know he got sent off at Wembley, so I think he is suspended. I don't think he was suspended for the Charity Shield match, because I don't think that counts too much. Well, it is a competitive game as such, but it doesn't. I don't think it acts too much competitively, although it is an FA event. As Ward heads that on, headed away by Gary Cahill, former Burnley man, of course. Spent a year on loan back in 2004-05 and had played a very good part in keeping quite a number of clean sheets, although the Clarets didn't rip up any trees in the Championship that season, ended up finishing 13th. It was a damn sight better defensively, and Gary Cahill played a great part in that. They had a couple of nice cup runs as well, beating Liverpool and Aston Villa and Tottenham along the way, and they certainly did themselves no harm, and they finished well above the Championship relegation zone. But here come Chelsea now looking for that first goal. Williams in there, but a good tackle by James Tarkowski. Got a good footing now on the edge of the 6-yard box and had to time it well. Still, the danger hasn't passed. Fabregas now 25 yards from goal, plays it to the right hand side, and Badinga has a shot. It's charged away, and now Fabregas has it, still just to the right of the cheer. And here comes KO deep inside Burnley territory, now on the left hand side. Alonso touches it back in field. Kante now plays it infield back to Fabregas, the Spaniard having plenty of early touches. And now Jack Cork, the former Chelsea man, to break away, son of course of the great Alan Cork of Wimbledon and Sheffield United fame, who famously won an FA Cup final against Liverpool back in '88. But a good tackle there for about a minute ago from James Tarkowski. It looked, to all intents and purposes, as if goal number 1 was going to come Chelsea's way. William was ghosting in there, but the number 5 here gets back. It's a lovely cross from the right from Azpilicueta. A low cross, deflection, which made it a bit more difficult for Tarkowski, but he did fantastically well, the former Oldham and Brentford centre-half. And that doesn't look out of place. I think the back 4 looks pretty settled at the moment for Burnley. On ball forward, but it's going to go to Thibaut Courtois to my right. Well, we've had 11 minutes here, and a good start for Burnley at Stamford Bridge, although Chelsea having the better of things at the moment. As Batshuayi flexed it on, Borger has it now on the far side, and at the moment it's Remember, Chelsea also missing Pedro because he got sent off in the Charity Shield match last week as well. So they're missing quite a number of players for injuries and suspensions here today, as David Luiz gets it back to the goalkeeper. I think Victor Moses is out with some kind of injury, I think. Thibaut Courtois kicks away. That's a poor clearance by him. It just goes out short of halfway. Stephen Ward will take the throw in for Burnley, just inside the Chelsea half, it looks like. And yeah, it's about 5 yards inside, but then they rather waste it there. Cork trying to knock it back to Ward, but overhit the pass, unfortunately for him, and out it went for a throw. And it's gone the other way to Chelsea, and they take theirs about 2 yards inside the Burnley half of the field at the moment. Here's Kerry Cahill now to bring it away for Chelsea, and well, since his days at Burnley, he's done really well. Oh, that's a little bit of a naughty one there on, and a red card has been shown to Gary Cahill. I don't think he can have any complaints about that one. It looked a dangerous tackle on Stephen Defoe. Referee Porton deciding that was a very dangerous challenge. Batshuayi arguing the case for Cahill. I don't think there's a case to answer, quite honestly. Antonio Conte arguing the case, but there's no case to answer. Why is he complaining? It looked a nasty challenge from where I was sitting, and I've got to be honest, I think that is a red card. I don't think Cahill can have any complaints. I don't think he's going to argue too much. He just hands the armband to Azpilicueta and he has to walk. So Gary Cahill, the England international, 13.5 minutes have been gone and it's been sent off. Let's have a look at it on the replay. Goes past one and it's a dangerous challenge. It's 2-footed, it's high, and he could have broke the man's leg, and referee Paulson, who was only literally 2-3 yards away from the incident on the near side, had no doubts to show the red card, and I think he's got every right. Well, Stephen Defoe's leg could have been broken there. There's no doubt about it. It's a dangerous, naughty challenge. He's no more than 5 yards away there, the referee, in purple, and he gave the decision. He decided to give the red card. And one thing we noticed there was Gary Cahill, he knew he was in trouble from the moment he made that challenge. And Chelsea and Antonio Conte, I don't know what they've got to complain about, quite frankly. I really don't. Was a stupid challenge, absolutely stupid in the extreme. Stephen Defoe is off receiving treatment down on the near side. I think he's going to be okay, thankfully. But Burnley here have got a bit of a boost. They're down, playing against 10 men, and that's a big player out of the game now, because it gives Burnley now a probable licence now to try and attack now Chelsea as they take the free kick long in there. Henrik will keep it going. And here's Brady on the far side. Robbie Brady, how he'd love to score again against Chelsea again for the second game running. Remember, we scored at Stamford Bridge. Free kick to Chelsea. William was bundled to the ground over on the far side, and he wants retribution. He wants a Burnley player to receive a yellow card. And the Chelsea players here are furious with the referee. They're surrounding the referee. Just get on with the game. They're not doing themselves any favours whatsoever. Okay, it's a free kick. But I think, to be honest, I don't think Ward touched William. I think William looked for that. If anything, I don't think Chelsea here have got their bearings together in this match now since the sending off. I really don't. And they need to just, from a neutral point of view, and I'm a staunch Burnley fan, as you all know, but if you're looking at it objectively and you're looking at it from a neutral point of view, Chelsea have got the... Oh, this is... Oh, have you just seen that? Fabregas has been given a free kick foul on Henrik, and then he sarcastically applauds the referee. You cannot do that in this game. What does Fabregas think he's doing? That is ridiculous, and he's got every reason, Craig Pawson. He's given Pawson every opportunity to book the man. It was a foul. He took Henrik out and then sarcastically applauds the decision, certainly in protest anyway, and books him. Well, I just don't understand it. I just literally don't understand it. So Fabregas is being booked, quite rightly so, for dissent. We've got another player going to come on for Chelsea. Obviously, Conte is going to have a reshuffle here, certainly in defence, because if he doesn't, then Chelsea could run the risk of being caught out as Goodmanson tries to run onto that one, and David Luiz just about gets it away, and it's gone out. I just think for the throw, and look at that. I've just seen there David Luiz and Thibaut Courtois have a royal set to amongst themselves. I think there's disarray in the Chelsea camp, I really do. On the evidence of the first 17 minutes, I think there's a lot of indiscipline in the camp, so we're going to see a substitution here. Lee Mason just telling the substitute to come on, just get back on the field, because come off the field for a second. As well, who is it going off? It's Brogger, I think, and home comes the number 27 here. I'm gonna look at the shirt back at the back in a minute. Is Christensen, number 27, that's come on. He's a throw to Burnley just by the corner quadrant. Throw into towards the penalty area. Burnley winning the first ball. Ball knocked out to Stephen Defoe. And Defoe out to Lawton. Lawton with a right-footed cross from the right-hand side. Takes a deflection off Marcus Alonso, and it will be a Burnley corner. And that's the first corner, I think, of the game. Unless that's gone for a throw, I'm not quite sure. We've got 8 minutes gone, I think it is. They're all lining up for a corner, so it's going to be the first corner of the contest. Tarkowski up from the back, me up from the back, Robbie Brady with the left-footed in towards the penalty area you fancy, and it is in towards the penalty area, towards the near post that time, knocked away by Chelsea. Now back towards Goodmanson. Goodmanson turning it on to Brady, who's onside on the right-hand side. Brady now running at his marker. Gets a decent crossing towards the back post. Vokes jumps in there, and Son Vokes knocks in, but the flag is up for offside. It will not count. But that was a marginal decision. Sam Vokes obviously accepts the decision, and obviously every claret around will have to accept the decision, because the referee has blown, I think, maybe for a foul or an offside decision. Might have been a bit of jostling going on in there. I'm not sure whether it was offside. I initially thought it was offside. It might have been a push as it was flicked on towards Vokes, but I think it might have been Tarkowski. One thing is for certain, it's still 0-0. And here's Ben Mee for Burnley as we go into the 20th minute of the game. Another bad challenge there, this time on Jeff Emerick by William, but the referee letting it go. I think he's played an advantage. I don't know what advantage he could have had there in the first place. Defoe now plays it out to the right hand side, just inside Chelsea's half, and then it goes back into the Burnley half, but Tarkowski knocks it long. And here's a chance now for Chelsea, best possibly to go on a counter forward. Perhaps Conte wanting a free kick. He's not going to get it in on for Sundays, is the honest answer to that. Defoe to Ward. Ward now on the far side. Now Ward now running at Willian, and Ward gets the cross in. Willian goes down, but doesn't appeal for a free kick, which is refreshing to see from the Chelsea players. They've just got to get their discipline right, because at the moment they're on the back foot here, because Burnley can sense blood here, playing against 10 men, although I should also add it's very difficult sometimes to play against 10 men than it is against 11. But Burnley should be not be afraid by that, as Ward keeps it just about in on that far side, and asked a lot of me, but me actually confidently and rather with ease capped that in rather well. Now Cork has it 10 yards inside his own half. Plays it cleverly there, plays it simply I should say, towards Henrik, who in turn plays it simply towards Stephen Defoe, and Burnley keeping the ball around rather nicely here at the moment. Plays some really tidy football here. Goodmanson on the far side, running to space. Lawton now uses him as the overlap. Now Stephen Defoe to measure across perhaps. No, he's gone short there to Brady. Brady in towards the penalty area, was looking for Vokes, but it's gone into the arms instead of Thibaut Courtois. 21 minutes of the first half gone at Stamford Bridge. We've had a sending off for Chelsea, Gary Cahill with the red card, and well, it's been an amazing first half for so many reasons, but it's Burnley who are in the ascendancy now, playing against 10 men, and this would be an amazing set of circumstances if this was to be the case and Burnley were to go on and win the game. Here's Alonso down on the near side. Good play there. Oh, lovely one-touch stuff there, but the back heel from Kanté just didn't have enough oomph on it, and in the end Defoe was able to pick up the pieces, and Stephen Ward now has it on the left-hand side, just inside his half. Brady over the halfway line, lovely through ball, but just couldn't find Stephen Ward, who had made a good break, but he's not the quickest of men, Stephen Ward, it has to be said. But here's Fabregas over the halfway line, ball forward in towards Batshuayi, number 23, but Ben Mee gets it away. Calmness personified, but it is a throw. Is it to Chelsea? Yes, it is. On the far side, about 15 yards inside the Burnley half of the field. We're halfway literally now through this first half. Chelsea no, Burnley no, but plenty of talking points there. The red card for Gary Cahill after something in the region of about 13.5 minutes, 14 minutes into the game, and it looked a dangerous chance. Could have broke the forwards leg actually, in fairness. And I think Craig Pawson got it absolutely spot on. So here we go again. Chelsea now looking to, as Rudiger now plays it back. Rudiger to Aspilicueta, to Christensen rather. Now Darren Luiz. So it's a back three of Luiz on the right, Rudiger on the left, and Christensen at centre. As Timo Courtois gets it away left-footed. 3/4 of the way up the field, deep inside Burnley territory, and James Tarkowski, two lovely headers. One to controlled header it in the air, and then another controlled header back to Tom Heaton, which was very, very cool by the former Brentford man. Back on West London territory, having played there for for Brentford. Sorry, here's Lawton with a good cross in towards box. It's got in the far corner. Would you believe this? Sam Vokes has scored. It's his first of the season. It's 4 in his last 5 if you include the back end of last season. Sam Vokes has put Burnley in the lead, and it's dream. It's the stuff of fairy tales for Burnley. A lovely ball in from Matt Lawton. He's capable of things like that. Lovely ball in, and with his right foot he had to sort of wrap his right foot around the ball, and he did just that brilliantly. Unmarked as well. David Luiz will be disappointed about the marking. Really poor marking there. There's the ball in from the right hand side, and there was Sam Vokes. Lovely control volley with his right foot. Had to wrap his foot around the ball, and he had enough purchase and enough swerve to get it past Timo Courtois, who in fact got a hand on it, but not enough. But it's Burnley who take the lead, and on the balance of play, deservedly so. And the shock is on at Stamford Bridge. What a performance we could have here. A shock here on opening day. Remember, Chelsea haven't lost on opening day since 1998, when Dion Dublin inspired Coventry City beat them 2-1. And they were managed in those days by Gianluca Vialli. They actually went on to finish third that season, Chelsea. They had the likes of Zola and Dennis Wise and Kazaragi and all that lot. Frank Leboeuf, Ed De Hoy. And here's Lawton again on the chase for Burnley, looking for a second goal perhaps. They're deep inside Chelsea territory. Stephen Defoe in acres of space on the right hand side. Infield to Cork. Cork now with plenty to work in here. And this is the value of having 5 in the midfield. I think Dyche has got it absolutely spot on tactically now, because with Chelsea sending off, this now really plays into Burnley's hands, and they've taken full advantage of this. Good and proper here, because when you look at it logically, oh, it's given away though. Let's just break off for a second, because here's Fabregas giving away to Kante. Then now Willian running at the Burnley defence. Willian towards the edge of the penalty area. Was stopped in his tracks by Tarkowski, but he's still not over yet. Fabregas, I thought he was going to shoot there for a minute. Ball out towards Aspilicueta. Aspilicueta back to Willian on the right hand side, almost on the edge of the Burnley penalty box. Still Willian trying to tunnel his way past a couple of Burnley defenders who weren't even fooled by his Brazilian flicks and tricks. Aspilicueta on the far side. Back to Fabregas, the Spaniard, who can make things work. You remember, he's got to watch his step. He's on a yellow card, remember. Here's Willian. Willian now 25 yards from goal, just cuts in field. Willian then goes to the right and then shimmies back to the left. Now back to Conte, ball to the left hand side. Alonso now, a bit of space here. Burnley haven't closed him down. Alonso's cross and towards the near post where Vinci Batshuayi was waiting, but it didn't reach Batshuayi, it reached Tom Heaton instead. And a little bit of respite for that Burnley defence. And it's Antonio Conte regretting the decision to leave Morata, who signed from Real Madrid in a deal that could be worth something in the region of about £70 million on the bench. Could he have regretted that decision? At the moment, it's probably the wrong thing to have him to have done, really. But well, as far as this club is concerned, who cares? They will go up. And here's Ward again breaking down that far side again. I think Burnley now will have more joy, I think, on the flanks, believe it or not, because Chelsea are very narrow, especially in that midfield area, and especially at the back, because the wing backs like to bomb forward, and that plays into Burnley's hands in a way. Here's Jack Cork inside his own half. Gets it over the halfway line to the left-hand side. Now the ball back in field. Now Stephen Defoe just inside the centre circle in his own half. Plays it over the halfway line where Milton is there. Good ball on there towards Johan Berg Gudmundsson. Gudmundsson turns it. He takes a nick off Alonso and Rudiger keeps that in play. Alonso still has it by the corner quadrant, and then he takes a couple of deflections. The last one off Alonso for a corner, and it clearly came off Alonso. I don't know what cause he had there to complain. It's a corner to Burnley, and it's a second corner. And if they work this properly here, they know that Chelsea are here for the taking, certainly from set places. And this is where it was going to be probably won or lost for Burnley. Set plays and balls into the box. And Chelsea have not heeded any warning there. Defending zonally there, I can see. Folks is up there, Ben Mee and James Tarkowski are there too. They try to play a 1-2 here, and that is left... well, that was a poor corner really from Brady. They broke down in communications there, him and Lawton, but thankfully it didn't come to anything because Burnley get a throw about 15 yards from the edge of the Chelsea box. So they're still within striking distance of possibly still going towards goal and maybe making something happen. Here's Tarkowski though back in his own half, and Burnley will be quite glad though to rebuild again and just pull Chelsea apart all over the place if they can. 28.5 minutes gone. Shadman Chelsea 0, Burnley 1. Here's Stephen Ward, the left hand side, ball towards the penalty area. David Luiz only got it half away, and then there was a foul there on Fabregas there by Sam Vokes, so a free kick to Chelsea. We trail, remember, by a goal to 0. The goal scorer Sam Vokes, first goal of the season, 4 in his last 5 games, if you include the run he had last season as well. Here's Willian now inside the centre circle, 10 yards inside the Burnley half, goes away from Jack Cork, through the centre he goes, tries to get it through to Michy Batshuayi, but good disciplined Burnley defending again, but Chelsea have got it back here, and N'Golo Kanté can hit him from long distance, has to play it out towards Azpilicueta now on the far side, the Chelsea replacement captain in towards Alonso inside the centre of the penalty area, but Tarkowski was always going to win that battle. He's the taller player when you look at Alonso and Tarkowski. And here is Vokes now just dropping back a little bit there. Sam Vokes keeps the ball in play and gets it forward as far up the field as he can, but he knew straight away where it was going to go anyway. Thibaut Courtois was always going to have the opportunity, and he's thrown it straight towards Rudiger. So Chelsea 0, Burnley 1 here at Stamford Bridge on this pretty cloudy but very, very pleasant Saturday afternoon here at the bridge. But it's not a pleasant one for Chelsea at the moment. Down to 10 men and trailing by a goal to 0. Here's Tarkowski back to Ben Mee. Batshuayi keeping the tabs on them both, and then keeping the tabs on Tom Heaton, who kicks away right footed and kicks away just towards 5 yards inside the Chelsea half. Well, it's headed back with great interest there by Luiz. Now here's Ward now to win the ball forward and knock it forward, and David Luiz will shepherd that one back to Thibaut Courtois, who had no chance incidentally despite getting a hand on it with Sam Vokes' goal. Coming up towards, as we now tick into the 33rd minute of the game, back towards Rudiger again. In hasn't that half an hour gone really past? It really has gone so fast, it's untrue. Thibaut Courtois once again. We are in the realms of fantasy. Well, not fantasy just yet because it's still a strong lead, but if they were to somehow go 2, maybe 3-0 up Burnley, and it's wishful thinking even at this early stage, my word, wouldn't we be in for something very special here at Stamford Bridge, certainly from Burnley's point of view. There are you could have got odds actually at the start of the match of 14-1 for Burnley to win the game. 14-1 in a 2-horse race. I mean, Chelsea's side on paper is a lot better than Burnley's, let's make no bones about it, but it's not what happens on paper that counts really, it's what happens on the day, and at the moment Burnley making things happen and they're looking the better team, and they've certainly been the dominant side since Chelsea going down to 10 men, and it's their own fault they're in that situation, Chelsea. Let's make no mistake about that. Alonso heading that one away, but only half away. There was a bit of a push there actually on Cork, but the referee letting it go. And here's Willian now on halfway. Goldson makes a 10-yard run, but Stephen Defoe stops him. First man always stops him there. Stephen Defoe is one of those players that will give everything in the cause. And he looks a lot more sharper than he was last season, Stephen Defoe. I have to say, he looks pretty compact, he looks pretty organised, he's good on the ball, good crossing. And here's Lawton, who's another good crosser of the ball, incidentally, and Gudmundsson was surely taken out there, but the referee says no. Play on, he says, and Chelsea have it now with Aspilicueta, the standing skipper, having to take the armband after Cahill sending off. And he really needs to organise his trips here, because at the moment they look all over the place, certainly in defence. Christensen comes forward, back in field to Fabregas on the halfway line. 10 yards now inside the Burnley half. Willian back to Fabregas, in field again to Kante. 35-40 yards from goal. Now onto the right hand side it goes to Willian. Willian crosses, or switches play from right to left, and Alonso cuts in from the left hand side. Marcos Alonso with a shot, stopped quite nicely there by Tarkowski. Rudiger will take it up for Chelsea. Right, left hand side, Rudiger's cross, again Tarkowski first to the ball, virtually unchallenged as well, which is even worrying from Chelsea's point of view. They have challenged Burnley players when they're defending Burnley, and then when they're attacking Burnley they're not closing the Burnley defence down. So they're worrying Chelsea at the moment in attack and defence, and this can only play into Burnley's hands. Here is Aspilicueta still, Chelsea breaking on the right hand side, deep inside Burnley territory, remember. Now a chance here for Burnley to have a little bit of a breather perhaps, and Cork just nicely played on there. And here's Robbie yes, it's Jeff Henrik rather, and it's back in field once more to Cork. Cork onto Vokes, and now Henrik, or rather yes, Henrik playing that forward, but he's lost out this time. Still, Gudmundsson is number 17 incidentally, I apologise. Coming up towards 11 minutes of the first half remaining. Chelsea trailing, remember, to Sam Vokes' superb goal for Burnley halfway through the first half, and what a moment that could be. And so Burnley striking the first goal here in this game. I wonder what odds you would have got on Sam Vokes. Probably about 9-1 I would have thought from the bookies, considering the attacking intent that Chelsea have got. Vokes is now the new main striker now that Andre Gray has left, and we still have strong opinions about that, but I suppose that's for another day, and whether Dyche can strengthen that's another matter. His Chelsea tried to break down the right hand side of the penalty area, it runs, and they run out of ideas, and it's out for the goal kick. So no, Craig Pawson not winning many friends inside the Chelsea camp or with the locals here, but I think he had no other choice. When you look at the viciousness of the tackle, I don't think there was any argument. I don't think the Chelsea fans can have any complaints, and then Antonio Conte can't have any complaints. And we've just seen the Vokes go again. He just wraps his right foot around it, and the joyous scene on his face says it all, really. And to be honest with you, since the sending off, Burnley have taken grip of the game, and yeah, good value for their lead, I have to say. 1-0 ahead, and looking to go forward again with Stephen Ward. Ward now deep inside Chelsea territory, but they touch it back to the halfway line, just confidently playing the ball around, just slow tempo, just taking their time, and Chelsea allowing them to have as much time on the ball as they possibly can, which is a worry from Chelsea's point of view. But it's a great one for Burnley, but although Tarkowski was a little bit careless there and giving the ball away. Now Willian can break now on the halfway line, 10 yards inside the Burnley half. Now Kante turns, he's got Fabregas there if he needs, and he's got it back from Fabregas as Kante. Now ball out towards the right hand side. Aspilicueta playing it in towards Batshuayi, but again Tarkowski, he's really felt the foot. I have to say, on the evidence of this opening 36-37 minutes so far we've had, I've got to say he's filled the void left by Michael Keane with great distinction. I've been very impressed by the way he's defended in this first half, and full marks to the kid, done really well. Here's an opportunity now for Willian, infield out to Kante, infield back to Willian once again, and now Alonso checks back, has to check back I have to say. And now Luis now number 30 checks it inside, and Luis once more. This could be a fabulous away day for Burnley. Remember, it took them until the penultimate away match of last season to get a victory here. Now they're on the break here, and is that a foul there on Henrik? No, it's not. Play on, says the referee. He's doing it on, but it's given away to Defoe. Defoe now has it on the near side, back inside to Gudmundsson. Burnley keeper possession at just pure will here, and Cork now has it with Ward on the far side. Ward coming up towards, we've had 37 minutes gone. Ward again will get the crossing. Ward in towards the penalty area, way by David Luiz. Most of the game now being played on the right hand side of my good self as we look. And here is Lawton, back to Tarkowski. Tarkowski to me, just on the halfway line. Infield to Cork, now in 10 yards inside Chelsea half. No Ward plays a 1-2 with Cork. Cork infield to Henrik. Henrik touches it back there to Defoe, who in turn plays it to the right hand side. And then the ball goes back infield to Defoe. Defoe back to Tarkowski. And Burnley here just keep with the ball, just sensibly playing the ball across and just running Chelsea as ragged as they can. Oh, really bad challenge from Azpilicueta through the back of Ward. He can have no complaints whatsoever there. I don't think that was a very good challenge by Cesar Azpilicueta, I have to say. 38 minutes of the game gone. Chelsea 0, Burnley 1 is the scoreline here. Stephen Ward about to take the free kick on the left hand side. Will he float it, or... Well, it looks as if it's going to be set up for the long one here. Although the way Burnley have been performing at the moment, they could con Chelsea here. And Sean Dyche and his boys have worked on it and training. Ward looks as if he's going to go long. No, he's gone short there to Ben Mee, and Mee back to Ward, and Ward now down the left hand side. It could well be a con-trick as Cork knocked it in there towards Ward. Ward chucked it in the left and scored an absolute screamer! It's a goal of pure genius, and it's pure fantasy now for every Burnley fan up and down the land, because it's streamlined here for them. It's 2-0 to Burnley at Stamford Bridge, and you know what? It's richly deserved. And Stephen Ward, what a fabulous goal! 39 minutes on the clock, and Chelsea fell for the Burnley contract. They thought they were going to play a long ball in, and Ward played it short back to Cork, and then Ward cut in from the left hand side, hit it in with his right foot, left foot rather, and bang past Thibaut Courtois, and Burnley here dreaming the dream. It's pure fantasy. Chelsea 0, Burnley 2. Wow! Wowee! Plenty for Conte to ponder down on the near touchline. Burnley are living the dream. It's 2-0. Wowee! This is incredible stuff. Rudiger gets it forward here. I think we'll need a slide down after this, folks, at half time. Really catch our breath as we come up towards 40th minutes gone, and David Luiz has won the ball fairly, looked to foul there, and I have to say on Vokes, but it's play on. It's Alonso. Chelsea a man down and 2 goals down, and it's Kante now. Kante looking to trick his man, which was Stephen Defoe, and they place a ball out to the right, which Azpilicueta did very well to keep it play. Now he's running at Ward, the scorer of the second goal, in towards the penalty area. Back to David Luiz, who tries to volley it on his left foot, and he volleys it way over the bar. Nearly got Rosetta the top tier of the stand, in fact, and a goal kick. Sean Dyche still giving out the instructions, still giving out the orders. 2 goals ahead. Can you believe this? Chelsea 0, Burnley 2. We're now into fantasy land here, and anyone who had Chelsea done, I have to say I thought Chelsea would win this game handsomely when myself and my cleric Chris Whiteman discussed all this on LTF on Saturday early this morning, but nothing we could have thought was going to see this now. I mean, this is, well, I have to say, Burnley, if they get a result here today, this is probably their bestest ever away performance in Premier League, and they've been going at it now. They're into their 4th year, 4th campaign as a Premier League club. I'm just trying to think where they've won away. They've won at Hull a couple of times. They've won at Villa Park, and they've won last year at Selhurst Park. So they've won at 3 away grounds. And Chelsea could be 4th for the hit list, and they have a free kick on the right hand side here, about 10 yards inside the Chelsea half. Antonio Conte, well, he may well be shaking his head and grimacing, because his team have offered very little since the sending off, which was very much deserved. Lee Mason just there, I'm just seeing next to him there, but well, he must be absolutely seething here, and it's Robbie Brady to take the free kick, and again it's been shaped up for the, well, he's gone short again. Stephen Defoe play acres of space. Where is this Chelsea defence? Defoe crosses in from the right. Folks, and Marcus 3! It's 3-0! Can you believe this? So we have a new superhero in Burnley. Into the bird, into the plane. No, it's Sonny, folks. And Chelsea don't know what's hit them. They've fallen for the same contrick from a free kick. They were lining up for, because Burnley were going to play it into the penalty area, or what they thought was going to be lumped into the penalty area, but instead Brady went short to Defoe, who had the, may as well have had the whole of Stamford Bridge pitch to himself here. Looked up, picked his spot, lovely right footed cross, and David Luiz, where was he? Because he should have been there on, folks. No chance for Courtois, who's got every right to berate his defenders, because that is appalling defending, but full marks here to Burnley, and the way they went about the two set plays, the two free kicks they've had now, and it's led to two magnificent goals. One from Stephen Ward, another from Sam Vokes, two for him, three for Burnley. Can we taste Fantasyland here at Stamford Bridge? Oh yes we can. Chelsea 0, Burnley 3 now. Amazing scenes here at Stamford Bridge. Who would have thought this? This is a coupon buster and a half. And coupled with the fact that I believe Huddersfield are winning at Crystal Palace, this is going to be a real day of shocks. Watford held Liverpool earlier on in the day. Oh, this is some game, it's football. Jimmy Greaves once said, coincidentally a Chelsea legend, it's a funny old game, and it's, well, you get results like this. Chelsea on paper have a much stronger squad, but that means nothing when you come out on, when you cross that white line. As Alonso cuts in from the left hand side, Kante has to get a right footed shot off, just so, but it's just under the roof of the net, and Chelsea, in fact I think it deflected, so I think it is a corner, but it's no, it's taken them till probably the 44th minute and 3 goals down to actually try and test Tom Heaton, which is a bit pathetic on Chelsea's point of view. Here's the corner now from the far side, floated in towards the penalty area, running and went for it. Here's Kante again, charged down by Ben Mee, and Ben Mee doing terrific work, putting bodies on the line. Foul there, free kick to Burnley, quite rightly so. I don't know what Chelsea have got to complain about. It's descent all the way for them. I think they're losing their discipline, very, very much so, and I'm afraid to say that I have to say Chelsea have been nothing short of atrocious in this first half. Yes, they're down to 10 men, and quite rightly so, but the attitude since the goal, since the sending off, has been absolutely abysmal. The sarcasticness of Seth Fabregas, which got him a deserved yellow card, and the surrounding of the referee on certain decisions, I just don't think it's been called for really from Chelsea, I have to say. We're now into stoppage time. We've had 45 minutes. I think there's going to be at least only a couple, I think, at the end of the first half, I would wager. But marvellous performance so far from the men from Stamford Bridge. We'll take a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back with full delayed second half coverage of this riveting encounter here at Stamford Bridge. 3-0 to Chelsea. 3-0 for Burnley, sorry, against Chelsea. I'm so carried away, I'm scoring the score wrong. We've had 49 seconds of stoppage time. Oh days, this has been our first half that we'll remember in the annals of Burnley Football Club Premier League history for a heck of a long time. If I can see it out of 3-0 here, as we've played a minute over the 45. I think we're going to play another minute more perhaps. I have to say, the red card offence, it took a while for Kale to get off the field, so we are going to go into these 2 minutes of adding on time. Batshuayi is lying prostrate on the ground, or allegedly prostrate on the ground. He wants a foul. No, not for me. Tarkowski just has every right to. It wasn't a. Oh, well, I don't like this descent. Azpilicueta, what is he doing? He's going to get himself a caution card here if he's not careful. They can complain and cry all they want because they've only themselves to blame here, Chelsea. It's just ridiculous. Now Darren Leeds is being called over, and he's been spoken to by Mr. Pawson, and Chelsea's discipline here, if they're not careful, they can't afford to go down to 9 men, in all honesty here. Craig Pawson is trying to keep a lid on things. I think it's for the afters with Robbie Brady. I must admit I didn't see the incident as I was too busy watching the path of the ball, but David Luiz does have a tendency to milk a few things as well. I think it's to do with this. Well, I don't think it was an elbow by Tarkowski. It's just a normal shoulder barge, and then David Luiz gets absolutely irate, and then here's what happens, and he's like a 6-year-old schoolboy, and I think he should be sent off for that. I think he's butted Brady. Meanwhile, shot coming in, Bogs almost connecting inside the 6-yard box, and if he made any sort of connection, that could have easily been 4-0. And do you know what? It would never have flattened Burnley one iota, because they have been good value for their lead, and it wouldn't have surprised me in the least if they'd been 4. I think it was offside anyway against Wilkes, but no, that's a red card offence. David Luiz, he's got away with one. Chelsea should be down to 9 men in my book. You cannot do that. David Luiz got the ball and acted like a 6-year-old schoolboy on a park. I want the ball. I'm keeping the ball. Right, I'm going to headbutt you. And I think I think there's negativity in that Chelsea play. But it's been nothing but positive. Let's talk about the positive aspects of the game and how positive have Burnley been. Here's Stephen Defoe, and he's been the best player of the first half in my view, as well as Sam Vokes and Stephen Ward with an outrageous volley that went zooming in. A volley of pure genius. 2 goals from Sam Vokes, 1 for Stephen Ward. It's 3-0 at the break for Burnley. Richly deserved in my opinion. A superb volley in between that. 2 goals in 3 minutes. Craig Pawson getting a bird from the locals, but I don't think they've got any just cause. When they look back at the recording of the game later on, I think they've got no right at all to complain. David Luiz is walking off. He's still complaining. I don't know what he's got to complain about, and he's quite lucky in my opinion not to have been sent off. Well, we're going to take a 5-minute break here, but we are in Dreamland here at Stamford Bridge, because at half time here, amazingly, it's Chelsea 0, Burnley 3. We'll see you in 5 minutes. Welcome back to Stamford Bridge for the start of the second half, and with Chelsea with it all to do here, 3 goals down, deservedly so. We've had a little bit of a breather. I'm ready. I've got my half a bottle of water to see me through the second half here. The sun has come out at Stamford Bridge, but the sun definitely not shining on the home team. It's certainly shining on Burnley. A man up and 3 goals up as the second half gets underway. Chelsea kicking off, attacking the goal to our right, and the ball's already out of play on that right hand side for a goal kick. A ball that had gone well out of play by the dead ball line. Well, I wonder what he said in the changing rooms at half time, Antonio Conte, because I'm surprised he hasn't changed it at the start of the second half. I thought he might have put Morata on at the start of the second half. One of the people in the press box saying that Morata should have come on at 1-0 up. Pat Nevin has probably made that point of view as we go into the second half here. As Jack Cork loses out, where he says the referee to his opposite number Fabregas. Now Willian has it on the halfway line, touches it back in field, but it's now with Henrik over the halfway line, and Robbie Brady now on the left. Brady left hand side, deep inside Chelsea territory. Level with the penalty area, goes towards the byline. Christensen right back with him, and Azpilicueta both teaming up rather well to dramatic effect for Chelsea, or to good effect for Chelsea I should say. Maybe dramatic was probably overcooking it a bit. Here's David Luiz for Chelsea, who was, well, you could have arguably seen red for a clear headbutt on there on Robbie Brady. I have to say I've seen red cards given for that, or for less than that, and I think he's a very lucky man, I have to say. There's Stephen Defoe. Here's Fabregas 10 yards inside the Burnley half. Remember, Burnley scored 3 goals at the right hand end. Chelsea need 3 goals to even force a draw out of this. Azpilicueta on the right, infield to Willian, 25 yards from goal, right to centre, but it goes to the left of centre where Kante is, and then back dead central to where Fabregas is, and we're about 30-40 yards from goal here at the moment. Then the shot comes in and it's wide just to the left hand side there, and a goal kick. It was Rudiger with a shot, and was well wide in the end. Gets the ball here about 40 yards from goal, strikes it right footed, but never troubling the Burnley goal in the true sense of the word. The left hand upright as we look at it, and a goal kick it is, to be taken by Burnley captain Tom Heaton, who has not had, by my recollection, any real save to make throughout the game at the time we've been playing so far in the game. Although there will be enough time for Chelsea, but they've got to have their wits about them. Remember, they're playing with a man down, and they've lost the key man, of course. Gary Cahill, their captain, has been sent off, and that was the catalyst for Burnley to take advantage, and boy did they take advantage. We are in the realms of fantasy land here, and coupon busting could well be on the cards here, as Willian has it on the right hand side, I should say, back inside to Azpilicueta. Now Chelsea still keeping possession with Willian now away from his man, and it will be a throw to Burnley. But the Chelsea fans a little bit buoyed by that, but there's still a bit of a nasty atmosphere at Stamford Bridge, because I have to say Chelsea have not done themselves any favours. They can mumble and groan at the referee, but I think the referee has got most of the big decisions correct. Certainly the Cahill sending off was justified in my eyes. Here's Fabregas now over to the far side, and Alonso will try a left footed shot, and that's better. Over the top it goes. I think Heaton got a flick on that. He did. So the first shot on target for Chelsea, and they've had to wait nearly 49 minutes of the match for, and in fact they got a little bit lucky there. Ricocheted off a defender, and it came to Alonso here. It was a lovely bladed ball as that ball comes in towards the 6-yard box, but Burnley defend that one okay. Still not away properly as Fabregas tries again in towards the penalty area. Heaton getting a good burst of ball, good little palm on it, and then catching the ball rather well, and then Tom Heaton was then stupidly barged off the book right, but decides to get on with it for his own team's sake. They are 3 goals up, and I have to say he deserves a lot of applause there, the Burnley goalkeeper. Why is he not England's number 1 is beyond me. I have to say I know there's Jack Butland, and I know Joe Hart's back in England, and I know Fraser Forster usually has very consistent games for Southampton, but if you want someone who's Mr. Consistency, Tom Heaton is your man. And I hope Gareth Southgate will be taking note. As we go to that, oh, David Luiz, what the heck does he think he's playing at? He just shoved Lawton out the way. How is this lad not sent off? The guy is talking all sorts out of turn. The man should be sent off by now. If he wasn't sent, he just shoved Lawton out the way. That is unbelievably stupid. Chelsea, yes, they got the throw, but David Luiz, take a look in the mirror. Honestly, I've never seen a guy lose the plot like David Luiz has in his career. I'm so sorry, but David Luiz, how he's not been sent off. I mean, those are bookable offences in their own right, in my opinion. You don't just shove a player and also headbutt a player. That's just ridiculous. He's got away with some silly... He's got away with a couple there. Here's Aspilicueta, but he's lost out again. And now here come Burnley. They're just looking lively every time they break here. And here's Ward, who scored that magnificent second goal. And it's been kept in, has it? Yes, it has. Now Ward has it. Ward just it back to Defoe. Defoe has had a marvellous game. Been really impressed with his work rate in the industry. And Sean Dyche is given, I think, under Sean Dyche, he's been given a second chance here. Didn't really come up to the level that Dyche would have expected, but I don't think he had the pre-season because he came late in the transfer window, remember, and he had a few injuries as well. But this season, look, by the looks of things, he looks a lot more keener, a lot more meaner, and a lot more sharper. And I think his passing range has been magnificent. And he's put in a great assist for the third one. Of course, Lawton put in the first one, and Jack Cork has to take the assist for the Stephen Ward strike because he played the ball over the top, but it's been lost now. Alonso can break away down the left hand side for Chelsea, cuts in field, still Marcos Alonso. He's probably the only guy that's really made everything tick, and in the end it got caught at the near post by Tom Heaton, but I don't think he's kept it in. It is a Chelsea corner, and they're just forcing Burnley into one or two errors here, which is a little bit worrying, but it's still 3-0 Burnley though. But it's a corner here with 52 minutes almost of the game gone. There's the little deflection, and Eaton tried gamely to keep it in play, but he didn't. Corner comes in from the left, Alonso flicking it on, and it's still, and Burnley just took it as far up the field as they possibly can. In fact, it's gone right up towards Thibaut Courtois. It's come to the ball's halfway mark of his own half. In fact, he's come sort of 20-35 yards out of his goal to retrieve that ball. And now Burnley have got sufficient numbers back. They've got practically 11 men behind the ball, which will make it so easy for the 10 men, so difficult I should say, for the 10 men of Chelsea now, because they can pick them up. Here's Willian now interfield to Kante. Kante, will he think about the shot? I think he might do now. No, he's gone towards Alonso on the left hand side. Alonso now really trying to make something happen. Appeals for handball, never going to be given. No handball there. Alonso still keeps going in towards Kante. Kante turns. This is a good match here. Ball in towards Batshuayi. Batshuayi with a shot in. It was sort of tame with his right foot, and it was so easy for Tom Heaton. I mean, he could have watched that for days on end, and he would have still gone and would have still comfortably gathered that in, no problem. No, hands were by his side, and I think it hit his hip rib cage in actual fact. So no penalty. And Chelsea here getting a couple of the decisions here. There's another player down. I think it's Cesc Fabregas again. David Luiz, he's a pest. He's a real pest. His team are 3-0 down, and he's talking to the referee. He needs to get it. He needs to get his afro head out the clouds, quite honestly, and get playing the game, because Chelsea need him. He's one of their big players, and quite honestly, he needs to come to the party. Here's Alonso, who certainly has come to the party in the second half. Forced a few good things there for Chelsea. Probably been the best Chelsea player so far, arguably Marcos Alonso. Kante, who's not been at his usual best. I mean, a little bit disappointed from him when you're looking at it from a neutral point of view. 9 minutes of the second half gone. Still Chelsea 0, Burnley 3 here. Stamford Bridge. Just to remind you, we have live football coming up on Tuesday night. It's the Champions League qualifier, but involving Liverpool. Will be, I think they're playing Hoffenheim with Germany, and that will be live from around about 7:30 on Tuesday night. So join us for that. Here's Aspilicueta now for Chelsea. Christensen rather for Chelsea, not Aspilicueta. He wears 28, of course. And the ball has been lost, and now a chance here for Burnley to break with Jeff Henrick, and he goes down. And yes, a free kick against Fabregas, who's got to watch his step. because already he's been booked. And remember, he sarcastically clapped the referee when a decision went against him earlier on in the piece. Let's have a look. He's running through. Yes, he catches him from behind. That's a free kick. Free kick for me. Craig Porton, we're out on the spot. Johnny on the spot. Referee was right. 100%. 55 minutes gone. 10 minutes exactly gone. And Chelsea down to 10 men. Could have arguably been down to 9 men with the way David Luiz has been performing. Descent, headbutt, pushed out and out the way. That's 3 crimes that could have had red card or written all over it. Robbie Brady will take the 3 kick. About 35 yards from goal. Looks like he's going to float it in. He has done towards the back post, and it's not behind for a corner, so more defending for that Chelsea side to do. Alonso had no other choice. So a corner now to the Clarets. 3 goals ahead here. The first Clarets match of the season. A delayed one, but still a very worthy game at the moment here, and it's a delight to commentate on after we lost signal for the game that we should have covered live last night. But it's a nice compensation for all you listeners out there. We're seeing a real shock on. Maybe this is probably the shock of the weekend. Maybe we've probably done all right in that respect, as daft as that sounds. Tarkowski and me both fall from the back. Cork on the edge of the area. Corner comes in from Brady. Curls it towards the 6-yard box, and Vokes was nodding it just wide, about a couple of foot wide in the end, but a goal kick it is. But I tell you what, Burnley look absolutely dangerous from set plays. They really do, and every time a corner or a free kick comes in, they do look likely to score. That'll encourage Sean Dyche a bit, but he will have to look to his bench, because the players are going to be, as the game wears on, there's going to be a point where Chelsea will get opportunities. I can't see that not being the case. So Burnley have got to keep on going. They might have to make changes. They've got Walters up there, Scott Arfield's on the bench that they could turn to. There's a few interesting ones there. Of course, Charlie Taylor could come in and replace Ward at left back, of course, and he was one of the first signings through the door. And here's a chance now, William, deep inside Burnley territory, out towards the far side, and he asked far too much of the ball. That was a poor ball, and you'd have had to have been a sprinter of Usain Bolt and Warren Gatland's speed combined to try and keep that in. Now we're going to see Morata come on. Morata, whose first contribution in English football was to missing the shootout with one of the worst penalty misses I've ever seen in my life. I've seen quite a few in my time. And so springs to mind in the Euros last year, in the Euro 2016, where in that quarter-final against Germany, where he was nonchalant, stepped up and blasted the penalty over Bob with a 2-yard run-up. Substitution, so it means the goal kick will have to be retaken. The substitution will have to be made. Lee Mason down on the touchline for Fisher. So Michy Batshuayi, who quite frankly had an appalling match, although to be fair shows good sportsmanship, shakes the hand of the referee, and on comes Morata, signing from Real Madrid, gets a good reception from the Chelsea fans. Maybe he should have gone on at half time. When you look at it from a Chelsea viewpoint, have they left it too late to bring Morata on? He looks a player, this fella, and I think Chelsea, well, Diego Costa is still strictly speaking a Chelsea player, but he's gone AWOL. There's been reports, I believe, that maybe Conte will fine him at £300,000. It's not changing the back of the sofa for people like Diego Costa, who are on so much silly money these days. I mean, the transfer fees now for players is astronomical and through the roof. You've got this Mbappe saga. You've had the that could break even Neymar's record, which is £200 million. I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. Anyway, here's Morata, first touch, chance here to see what he can do. Shoots right-footed. I think it's well wide the target, and a goal kick it is to Burnley with 59 minutes just over gone. Chelsea 0, Burnley 3, and half an hour now tantalisingly away from a famous victory. And you know what, if they can keep a clean sheet, the Clarets, top of the league as well. And they haven't been top of the league since 1974-5. But in fact, the next game they beat Chelsea. Here's Tom Heaton, right-footed. Apart from Alonso testing him early on in the second half, we haven't seen him tested to absolute limits that we would have thought he would have had. He's had a quite first hour from his point of view. Usually in away matches he usually has quite a lot to do at this point. Here's William now running through the middle, and he's brought down. Surely that's got to be a free kick, Chelsea, I have to say that. And a yellow card is being shown to Ben Mee, the offender. Oh, is it Ben Mee? I think it might be Brady. Let's have a look at it again. So William runs past Defoe, gets past him, and it's Robbie Brady, in fact, who gets the yellow card. So a free kick, 60 minutes played. Burnley have got some problems here. 3 goals up, but a man up, but they have a free kick to defend. Alonso up behind this one. Daryl Luiz, who can blast them, he's up behind it too. And real danger here now. Willian wants a piece of it as well. Could be Alonso. He's been the man that's made Chelsea tick as far as positivity is concerned. He's been the only one that's shown any real inclination so far in this match. So Alonso to probably hit it with his left foot. Larry Luiz will smash it with his right. It's going to be left-footed. Alonso, and a good save from Tom Heaton, diving away to his left-hand side. Did really well, the big Burnley goalkeeper. Tipped it over the crossbar. Did really well. Did really well indeed. Got good purchase on it. Knocked it out. And a corner kick it is. Did really, really well. There's the corner in. Alonso trying to volley it. It might come here, and they appeal for a penalty. No way was that a penalty in a month for Sundays. The Chelsea players were looking for that in my book, and nothing was ever going to be given. And now, as a Chelsea player gone down injured, and it's all mayhem here now. And Pawson carrying on, the referee. No, he's not carrying on. He stopped it. He stopped it, and I think there is a genuine injury here. And it's Rudiger who's down in there in that melee. There's the shot. There was a penalty box scramble, and in fact Rudiger could have caused serious injury to his opponent. In fact, he's caused serious injury to himself, because the Burnley man Tarkowski won the ball quite clear, and he went in very, very late and ended up injuring himself, quite honestly. So he's only himself to blame. He's lucky that he hadn't got an injury for it. Meanwhile, we've got a dead ball situation where just Henrik nonchalantly knocks it away into the Chelsea half, and now Chelsea will start again with Azpilicueta down the right hand side. Morata, good tackle there by Ben Mee. Got the ball quite cleanly, in my opinion. And again, the Chelsea players, they're not doing themselves any favours with the he's giving a yellow card for that. I think that is a ridiculous decision from Mr. Pawson. He's clearly been influenced by people like David Luiz, people like Morata, who just don't know what proper football really is. There it is, Morata there, and Ben Mee for me gets the ball. Morata's conned the referee. I bet he did that at Real Madrid as well. The referees get conned quite easily when it's Real Madrid and Barcelona, and he's conned the referee there. I think Ben Mee is rather unfortunate to be yellow carded. I think that's the softest card that Mr. Pawson's given today. I think that's a poor decision, and if Chelsea get a goal from there, I think Burnley will have more right to complain than Chelsea. And again, David Luiz, how he's not talked himself into a yellow card, and how he's not, well, David Luiz should be off the field by now. How can Ben Mee, who's made a committed challenge, get a yellow card when, let's just see this free kick out though, as that ball comes in fact it causes no end of problems there for Burnley. And David Luiz heads over the bar, but he should be sent off, in my opinion, for dissent, headbutting an opponent, and pushing over Lawton, which were more of yellow card offences than what Ben Mee did just then. Pawson's got some good decisions right, but he's got some terribly wrong, I have to say, and most of the wrong decisions have gone in Chelsea's favour, quite oddly. You don't see Burnley complaining. They're 3-0 up. They just accept the decisions, good or bad, and just get on with it. As Brady jumps with Azpilicueta, but Azpilicueta wins the ball quite easily. So 3-0 still to Burnley. We're now into the 65th minute now we're playing in, and about 64 minutes and 15 seconds. So one ball forward up towards Morata. Oh, I tell you what, Morata had his foot up a bit high, but not high enough, thank God, to keep Tarkowski's head in. Ball back with Heaton. Heaton kicks long with his right foot. Still Burnley on course for 3 crucial points. They've got a free kick here. And Chelsea again just have to maintain discipline. Marcos Alonso the guilty party. Just a 3 kick though. And 5 yards inside the Chelsea half, and it means Burnley now can just take their time here. They've got every reason to take their time. Chelsea fans don't like it, obviously, but that's the way it is. The ball over towards Brady. Brady now will go forward. They're going to look for a fourth here, Burnley. A fourth one would do it. Off Christensen for a corner. Now then, Robbie Brady, and getting a good reception there from the travelling Corets, who have travelled down from Lancashire and are having a party here at Stamford Bridge. 3 goals clear and a man up. Well, you can't get much better than that. You come to the home of the champions and you don't expect anything from this, and now we could have 3 points in the bag, and it would be their first opening day win in Premier League history as a Premier League club. And here come Burnley looking to score another one, crossing from the right hand side, and Brady coming in at the back post. That was a marvellous cross from Johan Berg Gudmundsson, and Robbie Brady so close to making it 4, and if that goes in, it's game over. Good crossing, Brady again unmarked, and William just about got back in the nick of time to put him off, but Robbie Brady there just ghosted him from nowhere. Aspilicueta playing it back. This has been a magnificent away performance from Burnley as Courtois kicks away with his left foot over the halfway line. Ben Mee wins it 10 yards inside his own half, and then heads it back in the Chelsea area with great interest. A good game of head tennis going on halfway at the moment. Cork now controls it but loses out, and then tucks back his man on a halfway. 3 kick, and that was not taken from the correct position. That should have been taken from the halfway line. Chelsea have stolen about a few yards there. Ridiculous. The referee should be clamping down on that for me. Here's Fabregas now to Christensen, rather. Christensen, number 27. Maybe Chelsea now they've got to stop picking up the tempo here, because at the moment they don't look like scoring here. Although Morata has looked a real threat, although he has conned the referee into giving Ben Mee a yellow card. Here's the ball in towards Morata. Morata, oh, was he taken out? No, he wasn't, says the referee. And Burnley could have had a 3 kick themselves, but it's with David Luiz now. David Luiz has crossed, charged down, and he'll have a second goal. Luiz, oh, that's an appalling attempt if it was for a cross. Oh, it wasn't, it came off Stephen Ward. In fact, he was very brave, in fact. I probably did Stephen Ward a little disservice there, so apologies to Stephen Ward. It's a corner. I know David Luiz has this attitude that he can miscue shots. He can hit them well, but he can miscue them as well. Having a little bit of a lighter moment with James Tarkowski, although the referee, I think, in there to make sure there's no argy-bargy inside that penalty area. Sam Vokes is there adding his considerable presence and trying to make his considerable presence felt. Williams corner in towards, or rather low across the ground towards the penalty area. Ball out for a Chelsea throw. William wanting to take it very quickly. Needs options though. He got it in Alonso. Alonso has been, no doubt in my opinion, as far as the Chelsea starters are concerned, Chelsea's best player. Now then, Kante, can he get a ball into the penalty area from the right hand side? William might here. He's got a little bit of space. Does well to get the ball in, and Morata's coming on track and has nodded it into the left hand corner of the net, and Chelsea are on the scoreboard after 69 minutes. So Alvaro Morata has pulled one back. Burnley still have a 2-goal cushion, but a little bit of worry now creeping into the back of that Burnley defence, and Morata there has got a very good attitude about him, just not celebrating. Although it is his first goal for Chelsea and his first in the Premier League, just onside as he played that ball in. I think Burnley should be a little bit disappointed there with the marking, especially Tarkowski there, just letting him go there. Tom Heaton was badly exposed in the end, and Burnley's clean sheet is gone. But they're still 3 goals up and a man up. So it's not all doom and gloom yet for the Clarets. They're still in charge. Oh, William, that's a nasty challenge. And the referee didn't give anything there. William certainly took out Stephen Ward, in my opinion, and then just allowed Chelsea to get away with it. The referee's got to get a grip on this. He really has. My word. He's had a mixed day to me, Craig Pawson. He's got most of the big decisions right, and then some of the decisions he's got wrong have been in favour of the home team, and yet they're the ones doing the complaining. But at least Stamford Bridge is singing and a little bit more joyous than it was at half time when it was boos that accompanied them off the field. 69 minutes gone, halfway now through the second half. Chelsea 1, Burnley 3. Tom Heaton's free kick. towards the edge of the Chelsea box, right of the penalty area, ball towards the left hand side of the area. Brady crosses in from the left hand side, and it's just over the top of the bar. The cross was badly miscued over Courtois' crossbar for a goal kick to Chelsea. 69 minutes and 45 seconds gone of the game. Chelsea 1, Burnley 3 is the current score, and so far so good at the moment. It's been a marvellous performance so far. It's been an important possible 3 points here for Burnley. Absolute passion shown by the Burnley players. They could have easily gone to pot with the untimely exit of Andre Gray elsewhere, but at the moment they are doing magnificently well. And I've got to say, they've really done themselves justice on the day so far, and I think they deserve a lot of praise and how they've gone about their business. Really have. I've been really pleased with the way they've gone about their business and done terrifically well. It's been marvellous to see. Chelsea 1, Burnley 3 is the scoreline at the moment. I cannot believe what I'm seeing here right now. It's just been... It's just been unbelievably brilliant, and here come Chelsea now looking for an equaliser, or looking for a second goal back. 71 minutes, Rudiger, the debutant, played it out towards the far side, and Alonso has probably been Chelsea's best player even when Morata's come on, although Morata coming on has made a big difference in the attack. And here's Azpilicueta's cross, deflected, but made it a little awkward there maybe for goalkeeper Heaton, but he did quite well. So remember, Burnley were at odds of something like 14-1 to win today in a 2-horse race here at Stamford Bridge, but at the moment it's going their way. Luis touches it back to Courtois, who had no chance on the 3 goals that went past him. Burnley exposed by bad marking and suspect defending, and maybe Burnley's concession of a goal was down to some suspect defending, possibly from Tarkowski, who's had a good game up until then. Rudiger now touches it back towards Kante, back to Rudiger again, gets it down to Azpilicueta. Chelsea now starting to pick up the pace a little bit, even with 10 men. Here's Kante in field again. This is good football from Chelsea. They're not complaining, they're getting on with it. Willian now out to the far side. This is good football from Chelsea. Burnley have got to watch their step here. They get to make a change, incidentally. And here's a chance now for Willian. Chips the ball into the area. Oh, here's a chance here for Christensen, played in, and it's been touched in, but the flag is up for offside. Flag is up for offside because Morata was in an offside position as Christensen shot, and Morata touched it in from a yard out, so the goal does not count. So don't worry, Burnley fans, the goal does not count. Morata, certainly Christensen isn't offside, but Morata is, and when Morata touches it, then he becomes active. So well delayed the linesman. Good decision by the linesman on the near side, and Chelsea quite rightly have a goal disallowed. Well played linesman, did really well. Chelsea still trail 3-1 to the Clarets, and it's been a good value for the lead, but Chelsea coming into it a bit more now as the second half wears on, and a free kick there, is it, against Chelsea? And what is Azpilicueta doing? What is he doing? Is he trying to have a wrestling match with Stephen Ward? He should be in the book, the Chelsea captain. He manhandled Ward. Craig Porton has to take action against Azpilicueta. That is not how a captain should behave. Absolutely ridiculous how Chelsea have gone around their business this afternoon. It's a free kick to Burnley, but this has got to be one of the worst pieces, I have to say. Azpilicueta, hang your head in shame. That is trying. You do not go around wrestling an opponent. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Meanwhile, a couple of changes for Burnley. John Walters comes on to make his battle for Burnley. I have questioned his signing. Is he too old? Has he got the pace? He's certainly got the know-how in the Premier League. I'll give him that. And here's Scott Arfield, a man that I've not been adverse to criticism from, certainly from my perspective, but it's a new season, a free shade as far as I'm concerned, as far as Scott Arfield is concerned. He's been retained at the club, although I would have thought he would have left in the summer. I think he probably made the wrong call letting George Boyd go, but there is Goodmanson. What a game he's had. Scott Arfield will get just over a quarter of an hour. Big opportunity. I don't think it was up to the level last season, but he's got a chance to really prove himself this season. He's got another season to prove it. And so let's see how he goes. Free kick to Burnley. I'm surprised Aspilicueta has not been booked. Craig Pawson should be clamping down on this stupidness. And that's going to be a corner to Burnley off the defender. So Burnley have a bit of respite. I'm sure they won't throw too many men forward. Sam Vokes has been a workhorse all afternoon. With a quarter of an hour still to go. Chelsea 1, Burnley 3. And really, Chelsea have got to be criticised for their indiscipline when decisions have not gone their way. Robbie Brady with the left-footed corner from the left-hand side in towards the back post, and me wanting the header and won it very well. And in the end, on another day, that might have sailed in, but it was straight in the arms, unfortunately, Thibaut Courtois. But a lovely corner there from Brady, and me attacked the header very well at the back post. He did really well, I've got to say. Here's Aspilicueta now in field to Christensen, whose opportunity led to that offside goal, which Morata took very well. He had a striker's instinct, but he was a good yard or two offside. And then Alonso goes down, clutching his ankle, and as he conned the referee again. He'll get back up in a second or two. He'll realise that the free kick is gone. Referee Craig Pawson, he's got the yellow card out, and Alonso has conveniently got back up. Now, who committed this potential foul here? He's hardly touched him now, Arfield. That is a ridiculous bit of gamesmanship. When are we going to see? That's a dive. He's conned the referee. There was nothing wrong with him whatsoever. Scott Arfield, to be in fairness to him, has accepted the decision, but I think Burnley have got more cause to argue than Chelsea, with some of the yellow cards that Burnley have picked up have been absolute soft ones. Free kick now to Chelsea into the penalty area. 76 and a bit minutes gone. 76 minutes and 40 seconds gone. That looked like handball to me by Alonso. Probably wasn't. Play on it is. Crossing towards the penalty area. Morata was waiting at the near post, but there was Sam Vokes doing some good defensive work there. The attacker defending well. In fact, it came off Morata. It is a goal kick. Respite. In fact, offside was given. David, what's David Luiz? What is he doing? David Luiz, have a day off. He's he's got no cause to complain, and he's talked himself into the book. His mouth has done that for him. How has he got any complaints at all? Morata is clearly offside there. And then David Luiz starts mouthing up at the referee. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Deserves his yellow card. He should have arguably been sent off for butting Robbie Brady. And I would think the FA surely will have to look at replay evidence of that incident and take retrospective action, because you cannot headbutt another opponent. And it was David Luiz, quite clear, who butted Brady in the first half. Chelsea 1, Burnley 3. Discipline going for Chelsea here. Aspilicueta trying to tussle there with Brady. And then Christensen treads on the ball. Now Arfield has it. Away from Fabregas, but only picks out David Luiz, who tries to pick a way through a long ball, which is not going to find Morata, instead of which he's going to find Tom Heaton, who just chests it down rather calmly and coolly, and takes the heat out of the situation, if you pardon the pun. 12 minutes left, just under. Chelsea 1, Burnley 3. Here's Kante away from the clutches of Stephen Ward. Tries to play the ball in field towards Morata. Aspilicueta to win the next ball on the right hand side. Ball in field now to Willian. Now Morata has it. Fabregas edge of the penalty area, just to the right of centre. Ball out towards the right hand side. Now can Willian get a cross in? Chelsea need to stop complaining and start playing football. That's a decent run there, but never going to fool Stephen Ward. It is a corner. Chelsea needing to get on with it. Ward has done really well today. I've been really impressed with his work rate, and as well as the goal, his work rate and industry, just getting up and down that left hand side and then doing his defensive work as well. He's got for an awful lot of good work today, Stephen Ward. I've been very impressed, and he would be a contender for man in a match. And there was talk of him signing a new contract as well at Turf Moor, which would be a really great Great move for Burnley as that corner comes in. Still not away. Fabregas chips it forward, but Tarkowski winning that one. Still not away fully. Only half away. Edge of the penalty area now. Kante, you can hit him. Hits him right foot and just wide of the target. Just to the left of the goal it went. And wide it goes for a goal kick. And N'Golo Kante at that end of the ground hit a superb goal to beat Manchester United in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup last season. Couldn't repeat the trick here when it was needed for Chelsea. It's not been one of his better games for a man who's usually missed the consistency. But Burnley are riding their luck, and quite rightly so. They're just 10 tantalising minutes away, plus stoppage time, from a famous victory at Stamford Bridge, and they don't and not had too much success here in recent years, as far as I can remember anyway. Chelsea haven't lost an opening day since losing at Highfield Road to Coventry City and Dion Dublin back in 1998. Dion Dublin, I think, got 2 goals that day in a 2-1 success against a very good Chelsea side they had in those days as well. They'd won the League Cup and the European Cup Winners' Cup in that same year before, and now Fabregas has got through and caught. The second yellow, it's off, and it was a matter of time before one of the Chelsea players completely lost their cool. Fabregas is absolutely furious. I've no reason why. I can't understand why he's furious. He can have remonstrated with the linesman and the referee all he wants, but it's a red card. 2 sent off. It's a diabolical afternoon for Chelsea Football Club, and they've surely got to be fined for the actions there, because they've surrounded Craig Pawson all the way through the match. Total indiscipline, and I think there's a lot of indiscipline throughout the football club. We don't need this in English football. John Walters consoling him. I don't think he deserves consoling. I think he deserves berating. That was an awful challenge on Jack Cork, and the 2 yellow cards he's got are deserved. And he can have no complaints. Antonio Conte is moaning and groaning on the bench. This is what happened. Walters played it in from the right hand side, and could have broken the man's leg. Stones are showing. It's a red card. Well, it's certainly a second yellow. The first one was deserved for sarcasm towards the referee. The second one very much deserved for a nasty looking challenge on Jack Cork. Could have broke the lad's leg. Fabregas makes the walk of shame and joins his captain in the dressing rooms. Disgraceful behaviour from the Chelsea players, who deserve no plaudits at all for their behaviour today. Darren Louise could have been so easily sent off for 2 bookable offences, for which he's got away with one. He's on a booking as well. Burnley meanwhile have a free kick on the right, which they've taken. The ball back in field again. They could do with a 4th one here, Burnley, to really settle any possible lingering nerves. Ward playing it in from the left to centre. Ball might drop to Vokes, but it's hooked away by Marcos Alonso. He's probably been Chelsea's arguably best player for all the starters. Cork nearly fouling his man there. And now Morata, who's certainly tried to play some stuff for Chelsea today, although he has conned Mr. Pawson on a couple of occasions, but he's got the decisions right, the red cards right. How on earth have Chelsea got any cause to complain at the referee when they've had possibly the bulk of the decision, but the 2 they've got against them, the red card offences, were totally bang on the money as far as I was concerned. Here's Henrik now for Burnley. 2 goals up and 2 men up. But this is Chelsea we're talking about here, the Premier League champions. It's back to Tom Heaton. All they've got to do is just be patient and just do the basics right, and Burnley will have victory. Arfield fucking it up, just giving it away a little bit. Can't be careless now in the middle of the park, because Chelsea, even with 9 men, have still got quality. They've got to start being more disciplined now as this game draws to a close, and stop playing football. They may have just left it a little bit too late, perhaps. Here's Willian now on the left hand side. Chelsea 1, Burnley 3. Chelsea have had Gary Cahill and Cesc Fabregas sent off. Running and playing that ball in. A good ball in there towards Morata. Only half away. They appeal for handball. It was definitely not. It was a clear header one inside the 6-yard box, and Burnley hook it away. There's a couple of appeals from Chelsea players. Mainly it was about 39,000 West Londoners who decided that it was a penalty. I don't think Mr. Pawson was going to be swayed by 38,000 Londoners. Ball's off and half cleared. It's deep inside Burnley territory. Burnley can't get out of their own half. Morata's made a real difference since coming on. Why you've got to ask for a Chelsea viewpoint, did he not come on sooner? Morata on his left foot, team effort, and easy for Tom Eaton, who just staunchly dives to his left and clutches the ball, plucks it into his hands. No trouble at all. Little deflection that made it slightly awkward, but no problems. It was a handball appeal, but I don't think it was. If anything, it probably came off the chest, or he didn't touch it at all. So, Burnley on the cusp of a famous victory here. Just 5 minutes 10 seconds of normal time to go. Are we going to see real history repeat? Real history here at Stamford Bridge. Burnley have not won there too many times. Certainly they haven't won for many years. I think the last win at Stamford Bridge was probably back in the mid-70s or something like that, or the early 70s, so they've had to wait something like 40 years for this moment. And here it is. It took until early May to win their first away game at Crystal Palace last season. It may well take them the first match of the season. We didn't have this down to 3 points realistically when the fixture list was made. But I tell you what, they'll be going up against Spurs at Wembley next up after the West Brom match in a couple of weeks' time, and they'll be buoyant by that. If they can go to Chelsea and win, why not go to Tottenham and get something? On Anfield for that matter. Here's Azpilicueta. Chelsea aren't finished yet. There's still just over 4 minutes to go. Azpilicueta keeps it alive. Now Kante has it for Chelsea. Chips it in towards the penalty area. Away by Tarkowski. It will be a corner to Chelsea. Alonso wants a penalty. He's not going to get it. Brady, he felt Brady had pulled him down, but I didn't see anything untoward here. There's the cross in. No, he's looking for that in my opinion. Brady has hardly touched him. Hardly brushed him at all. Corner kick was rightly the decision. Here comes the corner from the far side, and the ball was nodded but wide of the target. It will be another Chelsea corner. Chelsea now with just under 3.5 minutes, just over 3.5 minutes to go. Exactly now, have got a chance here. They can pull it back to 3-2. They may as well go for broke, but that leaves them to susceptible to the counter-attack. Ball comes in from the penalty area. Alonso will try and reach it now on the left hand side. Still deep inside Burnley territory. Burnley have practically got all their team back inside that penalty area. Ball back across towards Luiz. Willian has it to the right to the penalty area. Goes in there, gets his shot in, deflected away. They appeal for handball, the Chelsea fans. Not given. 3 minutes to go. Ball back at the other end with Thibaut Courtois, about 25 yards out of his goal. Plays it to Kante now. Trots over the halfway line. It's now or never for Chelsea now, as they look to try and get back into this game. Cesar Azpilicueta. Their time's running out. Azpilicueta with a right-footed ball in there. Little flick on by Morata. Releases, goes in, and it's volleyed it in. And it's 3-2. No chance for Tom Eaton. And David Luiz, who quite arguably, in my opinion, should have been sent off for 2 bookable offences, has pulled one back. And that could really be... It's going to be a desperate 3 minutes now for the Clarets. 2.5 minutes for stoppage time. Perfectly good goal. Lovely bowling from Azpilicueta. There's the header on by Morata. A goal and assist on debut for him. Chelsea 2 now, Burnley 3, and it's all a question now of hanging on now. Tom Eaton had no chance despite the ball going through his legs. He had no hope, because Luiz can certainly blast them. But arguably he should have been sent off in the first half with a clear headbutt on Robbie Brady, and we might not have had the second goal happen. So 2-3 is the score. Burnley still there. Oh, that's a foul. That's a foul against David Luiz. I think it might have... No, Ruddinger, I think it's... Oh, the Chelsea players are at it again. Oh, please. Please, please, please. Conte, oh, what is he? Oh, the Chelsea team, the Chelsea squad, the Chelsea management have lost all kinds of discipline here. They've totally lost their bearings. Free kick, well, maybe that was a debatable decision. It's probably one of the more debatable decisions Burnley have got, but oh, the Chelsea discipline has been appalling. Ruddinger gets a yellow card, probably harshly, but the players are doing themselves no favours at all by remonstrating with the referee every 2 seconds. It cannot be good for the game. Burnley have a free kick. Walters wants a piece, but I think you would wager Brady. Arfield, I think, giving him a little bit of instruction. Arfield and Waters working away from the scene, so it is Robbie Brady, and it's going to be left-footed. You can bet your bottom boots on that. 4 in the Chelsea wall, so Brady now lines up the opportunity now to win Burnley the 3 points if he can. Brady runs up, left-footed, tries to hit the post. Still might go, Brady blocked, and there was almost a chance there. Still might come for Henrik to Ward. Burnley within an ace of going 4-2 up in the last minute of the game. Walters has it on the far side. Now this man is a big burly centre forward. He'll hold things up, and he was surely taken out there by William, but the referee not allowing it. The free kick to go Burnley's way. We are now 15 seconds from the end of normal time. Now the fourth official will have to hold up his board. It's Lee Mason down on the near side. I think that a lot of Chelsea fans will be around me saying 5, maybe 6 minutes. Here's Walters. We played the 90 minutes, and I'm hearing that it's going to be 4 minutes. And here is Cork to Arfield. I don't think that's going to go down too well with the Chelsea fans. Indeed, I don't think it has. So Chelsea have only 4 minutes to save their skins here. Burnley trying to keep possession for as long as they possibly can. We've had 30 seconds of the 4 minutes. Henrik has kept that going. Now Tarkowski. Chelsea fans are absolutely incensed by the referee, the fourth officials' reluctance to show 4 minutes. I have to say, I don't think there's been too much time wasted by the Clarets. I just think Chelsea's discipline has been all wrong. And that's not the stuff of champions. This is not the Chelsea we saw last season. This is a Chelsea who are in utter disarray and still might get themselves a point. A point they've barely deserved on the balance of play, perhaps. But they could still get themselves a point, and they've got just over 3 minutes to do it. Meanwhile, there's going to be a substitution here. And it's going to be the number 17 coming off, and who's being replaced? I think it's Christensen. And on comes another debutant. We'll let you know who that is in a second as the ball comes in towards the penalty area. Luis trying to win it. That's going to run dead into touch. It's a goal kick. Well, Chelsea are blowing themselves to blame if they do end up losing this match. I really do think that. And this is the behaviour of the... Oh, he's absolutely ridiculous. Antonio Conte, for all he's achieved in the game, at home and abroad, for all he's done with Italy, he's usually the most calmest man on the field, but he's totally lost his marbles today. He's totally lost his bearings. I cannot believe a manager of his standing, in his calibre, he feels a sense of injustice. He might feel that way, but I think on both red cards and a sort of the decisions, I think Chelsea's discipline, I think he needs to look at his own team rather than the performance of the officials. Because let's face it, Burnley's discipline is what's going to win them the 3 points, and their will to win, if they can hold on, of course. Chelsea's indiscipline has cost them. Unless Morata can steal in behind, but well played. Jack Cork couldn't take no chances. Tom Heaton was coming out like a rocket and did really well. Meanwhile, Craig Pawson has blown, I think, for something that happened. James Tarkowski did really well. He's done really well. Apart from the goal, but Morata has done really well. Just seen a replay. Brady's left-footed strike that just hits the inside of the post there and just comes out, and he tried another shot that was blocked. Oh my days, it's been one of those days down by the bridge. Not your ordinary game of football. We're into the last of the 4 minutes. What a game it has been, and Burnley are on the cusp here of a famous victory if they can hang on for 45 seconds or more. Antonio Conte now still, you can't fault his passion, but his discipline has been all wrong, and his team's discipline, surely they have to look at the disciplinarian. 4 successive games they've had a man sent off. It stretches, well, that's 3 competitive games, certainly out of the last 4 if you include last season's FA Cup final. Yeah, Victor Moses sent off in that one too. Ball played back in there by Chelsea. They get a throw almost level with the Burnley 6-yard box, about 5 yards from the corner quadrant. It's now or never for Chelsea. This has got to be surely the last chance now. 10 seconds for stoppage time to go. Azpilicueta throws it into the area, headed away by Burnley, and surely that must be now. We've played the 4 minutes. Surely John Dyche wants the whistle. Referee checking his watch. He's back with Thibaut Courtois. This is going to be the last week for Chelsea. Courtois knocks it in towards the penalty area. Headed out again. Chelsea now looking for this equaliser. Have they got enough time? Here's Willian now, right hand side. Dicks the ball into towards the penalty area. They'll go for it. Alonso Chelsea down, shoots off the line. Invited hit Morata. And Arfield gets it out. And there it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. It's all over. And Burnley have done it. Look at Sean Dyche. And look at the supporters. It's 2 goals to Sam Vokes, and a superb volley from Stephen Ward has won Burnley a famous victory here at Stamford Bridge. Oh, Chelsea rallied in the second half, but had 2 men sent off. Morata pulled one back after 69, Luiz after 88, and still the appeals go on. Oh, there'll be uproar from this. David Luiz should have arguably been sent off before half-time. Stupid sendings off. David Luiz incandescent, but Burnley deserve their victory. And what an opening day victory that is. The Burnley fans will go home happy. I will go home happy. Final score here, Chelsea 2, Burnley 3. Well, what a remarkable game of football that was. Absolutely superb, and I have to say it was one of the most remarkable games of football no one will ever inside Stamford Bridge, and we'll ever forget. Chelsea obviously for the wrong reasons, but Burnley, fantastic performance by their team today. I was very impressed to how they went about things. I have to say Chelsea's discipline was absolutely disgraceful, and they deserve no plaudits from me, I have to be honest. Very, very disappointed, and well, they deserve no sympathy from me, and they won't get any interviews from me neither, because it's all about Burnley and winning the game. And we'll hear from Sam Vokes and Stephen Ward in due course, but first of all we're going to speak to Sean Dyche. We're speaking to Darren Bentley on Claret's player, who spoke to Darren Bentley on Claret's player after the match.
That's not a bad way to start the season. No, it's a very good way. I'm delighted for the players. A lot was made of our away from last season, and don't get me wrong, that doesn't correct a whole season's work, but it's a great start. It kills the stories off immediately. You get your first win. You've also got your first away win. Our fans have had a great afternoon. Makes for a really, really good day. And not just that, that's being flippant about it really and light about it. There's a really strong performance there from the players today, I felt.
I suspect that first 45 minutes might be arguably your best as a Burnley manager.
Well, I think when you're talking of who you're playing against and where you're playing, then arguably yes, it's up there. The shape of the team, the organisation of the team, particularly after sending off, because don't forget that can knock you off kilter. Now, second half we found it more awkward, but they had to do something. First half I thought we contained it well, we kept the ball well, and of course Mike Johnson took them. So I was very, very pleased with the first half. But even before the sending off, I thought we were solid, we were organised, kept them to very, very limited chances, if any.
Let's talk about the sending off before we talk about the good stuff from us. Have you seen them back? What are your thoughts?
I haven't seen them, but the staff all seen them and said the referee was excellent. Said all of his decisions, all the big decisions were the right decisions. And I think it's important to mention that I attempt to stay away from referees the best I can, but we do question them at times, so it's important to remind ourselves when they do well, and I think he's done a very good job today. And his linesman, by the way.
In a pressurised environment, because at times they were paying for blood out here.
Yeah, second half it was a strange one. Some of the challenges were interesting, let's say. Linesman very strong down this end to give an offside goal. But looking through all of that, it's still not easy, you know. You're 3-0 up here against 10 men. Do you go for 4? Do you sit in? Do you contain it? Or do you attempt to contain it, which we more or less did? But they're champions for a reason. They keep coming at you. They get higher, they get wider. They've got ball dribblers, they've got strength. They're bringing on Morata from the bench. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that easy. So to see the players see through all that and just stay calm enough, just to hang on, finish the game in the right manner was very, very pleasing.
The goals, as you said, were fantastic. What do you say to the players at half-time? Because it's an unusual position to be in, isn't it?
I said, what are you doing? Because now I don't know what to say. So couldn't you kept it tight, 0-0? I said, look lads, it's more important we do the basics. So the game plan didn't change. We were tempted, obviously they go down to 10. We stuck with the game plan, stuck with the players that were on show. They delivered. Second half, it was that kind of, do the basics well, recover your shape quickly, and keep it really, really simply. Now, we didn't do that all half, but they had to come out, they had to come on top of us. They pressed a bit harder, a bit higher, and they threw caution to the wind a couple of times where there's almost 1v1 at the back. Our team should very, very rarely do that. It paid off somewhat for them, but overall, we definitely deserved it in the end. I've got to be honest, we definitely deserved it in the end.
I think, I might be wrong, but I think I saw you celebrating a goal. After the third goal, our bench were up. I think I saw you. You might have a little celebration.
Well, a mini one if anything. No, a mini one because, well, it's not, look, I stay calm in most situations, but I'm human as well. No, I know, I'm human as well, and it's rare that you come to these clubs and you're 3-0 up. We've had some big results at times, but rare to be 3-0 up at half time. And even at the end now, I gave our fans a little bit because, I am human. This means a lot to me. It means a lot to the team. We've had a couple of awkward things happen to us in recent times, with transfers, etc. We've bought good players in. We're still in the market. All them question marks, and then the mentality of the team to just get on with it. Go, right, let's bring it on. I think that's a fantastic thing. You can never underestimate that. I've said it many, many times. The human spirit in football is very, very important. The tactics, of course, individual technical ability, but the will and desire of a team to see it going through is an important factor, and I thought that was on show again today.
Just winding up, I guess for the fans up there, that will probably be an hour's there moment. But what can this do for your team? It gives you a real foundation.
Well, as I suggest, this is not the end of the season. This is the beginning. It gives us a mark and it gives us a start point. We're never naive at this club. I'm certainly not, and our fans are not. We're always humble about what we face, and it's still a big challenge for this season. I never try and give anyone any nonsense about what the challenge is. Premier League's a very tough league, but there's still some moments you've got to enjoy, and our fans have to enjoy that today because it's a tough place to come, particularly to be 3-0 up.
Indeed. Well said, Sean Dyche, and I thought he could go with some of the refereeing decisions in that game. Let's hear from both heroes today. First of all, later is Sam Vokes with his 2 goals. Well, let's hear from Stephen Ward, who signed a new contract as well, which takes him another 2 years with an option of a 3rd year, which takes him up to 2019. And of course, his reaction to this marvellous win at Stamford Bridge. Let's hear from Stephen Ward now, who was talking to Claret's player reporter Phil Bird. So we'll just hear from Stephen Ward now. Remember, he's just signed a new contract. Let's hear from him now with Phil Bird.
Listen, strange afternoon, I suppose. Find yourself 3-0 up at half time at Stamford Bridge. Doesn't happen very often, but I thought we started well, and obviously the sending off probably changed the game a bit. But sometimes it can be difficult to play against 10 men, and I thought we moved the ball really well, created some great chances, and went in with a great lead, and obviously thankfully we held on second half.
Tell us about your goal. Special goal, though.
Yeah, listen, it was. I've not scored many like that in my career, but just took a short free kick and played a 1-2 with Cork. He just played a great ball back to me, and thankfully sat up nicely and ended up in the back of the net. So delighted, Vokesy, as well. 2 fantastic goals, and I think all in all we're just happy with the result.
Yeah, one choked off as well, Sam, didn't he? We did ever so well. Robbie Brady's hit the post as well.
Yeah, I think obviously from their point of view there'll be a lot of talking points about that, but I think all in all I think we put in a great performance, and we've got to be very proud of what we've done here today, and set us up nicely now for a big home game next week.
It's only the 2nd time they've lost at home on the opening day in the Premier League, and they're the champions as well.
Yeah, listen, as I said, it's a fantastic achievement, but obviously there was a big thing made of our away form last year. It's nice to get that first one under our belt, and let's roll on next week and have a big game in front of a home crowd.
Yeah, is it a bonus win? One that nobody expected?
No win's a bonus in the Premier. Every win's a bonus in the Premier League. You got to get as many points as you can, and listen, no one would have given us any real chance except ourselves. We always have that belief, so we're delighted, as I say, for it, and we can enjoy the season.
And lastly, some really good news. You signed a new contract.
Signed it the other day, so I'm delighted with that, and obviously hopefully we can have another successful season, and it's just great to be a part of a club like this at the minute.
Yeah, you're obviously enjoying things here.
Yeah, it's great, and as I say, long may it continue.
Well done, man. Thanks for your time. Thank you.
Yeah, so well done, Stephen Ward. A great volley, and great performance. And as you said, every point in the Premier League is a bonus, and to get 3 is a massive bonus, certainly for certainly when you're a Burnley supporter and, well, Burnley player, I suppose, it was never expected. I did say at the start it would be Bob up and no up. How wrong were we? How wrong was I? And to be honest with you, I think how the team answered on the field today was superb. Anyway, I think we'll leave the last word to Sam Rokes on the issue. 2 goals for him, 2 magnificently taken goals. He also spoke to Claret's player after the match, and he spoke to Claret's players Phil Bird after the match.
Probably doesn't come much better than that.
Yeah, of course. It was a great start for us. Like I say, first half to go in at 3-0 up was yeah, unbelievable. And it was important at that point. We got in at half time and spoke about it and were mentally ready for the second half. We knew they were going to come back and be strong. Where they had 11 players or 9 players on the pitch, so we did that and we stuck to our jobs.
It was resilient at the start. I think it was key once Gary Cahill was sent off. You really sort of went for it. I thought it didn't sit with Shell. You thought we're going to seize the initiative, which was fantastic.
No, we didn't, because like I say, whether they got 11 players on the pitch or 9, they're top class players and world class players. So they showed at that point they were still good, but we settled down, played some good football, created some good chances and managed to put them away.
There was somewhere in between, but you're in a rich vein of form goal scorer in the Premier League and 2 today.
Yeah, it's obviously great for myself to get off off the mark like that on the opening day of the season. But more than that, for the team really, a lot was made of last year not getting the away wins, and to start a season like this and put that to bed, I suppose, is nice.
Well, your second goal, I mean, a classic centre forward, a beautiful ball in. What time do you think about it like that? Does it make it a bit harder?
Yeah, to be honest, I think up against those centre halves, obviously there were 3 of them today, and it was a great ball in by Steve, and it was a great one for, like you say, for centre forwards to go and attack, and it was nice to get that second goal.
I suppose you wouldn't mind though saying Wardy perhaps a bit best of one.
Yeah, no, I'm quite happy to give him that one. I remember him coming over all those years ago as a striker at Wolves, so he showed today. Back to his striker days.
Second half, different kind of fish. Inevitably, they're chalk the kitchen sink at it. You handled it pretty well, but a little bit nervy at the end.
Yeah, very nervy at the end. Look, we've come to the champions and they're going to put the pressure on, and like I say, they're world-class players. Obviously conceding the 2 goals, I think from our point of view probably a bit sloppy, but like I say, we got a bit lucky at the end as well. They missed the chance, but we're coming away with 3 points, so
it's about getting down the line, isn't it? I mean, as you say, to win at the Champions on day 1, just ticks so many boxes, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. When the fixtures come out, a lot was made of the first 5 away games really, and starting here, and we ticked one of them off with 3 points, so we can go and attack the others in the same vein, really.
Yes, I know every feet on the ground, just try and use this as a platform, really, isn't it?
Yeah, we have. No, you can't. Yeah, you can't get carried away. Opening day of the season, and then we got a huge game next week against West Brom, so we'll come in Monday morning and get back to our jobs as normal.
What a day, Sam. I'm sure it was a memorable day for all the supporters. Another champion in the numbers.
Yeah.
It's been nice to sort of give them a great start.
Yeah, it's huge for them. I mentioned last year we only got that 1 away win at Palace, and that meant a lot to the fans, and today I'm sure it will mean the same. So for us it's important for us, but for the fans as well, it's a huge win.
Well done, Sam.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Yes, it means a lot to the supporters more than anything else. They made a long trip, probably not expecting anything really, maybe a point at best, but to get 3 against the champions, well, I must admit I was in shock commentating on it. We were in the realms of fantasy land and we did magnificently. One thing I will say, Chelsea's discipline, I've said many times in the commentary, was disgraceful, and I think only criticism should be aimed at Chelsea at the moment. No criticism at all of all body connected with Burnley. They play with discipline, heart, spirit, commitment, and more importantly kept their discipline, kept 11 men on the field, and that was the difference in the end. Chelsea were poor, lacked ideas, lost 2 players to silly red cards. That's the 4th yellow card in 3 games for them, by the way. The 2 being sent off today. You had Victor Moses at Wembley in the cup final last year, and Pedro going at Wembley the week before in the Community Shield. It's 3 bookings, 3 sendings off in 4 sendings off in 3 games, and we've covered them all on this YouTube channel as well. It's a little little statistic there for you. Before we leave you, just a couple of things. First of all, the Premier League results from the weekend on Friday, as you unfortunately wouldn't have heard because of our technical problems. Arsenal beat Leicester 4-3 in a real crackerjack. Giroud came off the bench to win. Leicester were 3-2 up in that game. On Saturday morning or Saturday lunchtime, Watford drew 3-3 with Liverpool, so Liverpool having led 3-2, dropped points there. West Brom in the 3 o'clockers, as you just heard, Chelsea 2, Burnley 3, great result as we say for Burnley. Huddersfield, what a restart for them, joint top of the Premier League as things stand, although being kept off it by Manchester United on goal difference. 3-0 winners at Crystal Palace. I didn't think they'd win that handsomely. I had them down to lose on LTF, but they proved me wrong. Everton 1, Stoke 0. Wayne Rooney coming back to Goodison Park and nicking 3 points. Well, not nicking, they should have won by more in fairness, Everton, but they did. One was enough again against the poor Stoke side. Southampton Swansea, well, that was the one that I predicted would end goalless on LTF, and I was right, and I'll boast about that. Sorry, Chris. And West Brom beat Bournemouth by 1-0 at the Hawthorns. In the tea time kick-off at the Amex, Brighton made a decent fist of things against Manchester City, but came up a bit short, and City winning by 2-0, one for Sergio Aguero and a Lewis Dunk own goal. Yesterday, 2 games played, one at St James's Park and one at Old Trafford. In the early kick-off, Tottenham Hotspur winning 10-man Newcastle. John Joe Shelby was sent off for a clear stamp on Dele Alli. Dele Alli scored in the second half, and then Ben Davies got the second one to seal the victory there for Spurs. And Manchester United up and running, 4-0 victory over West Ham. Romelu Lukaku with 2 of the goals. Martial got another one, but Manchester United winning out very comfortable winners there by 4-0 and go top on goal difference. So that brings you to the end of our coverage here, our delayed stream of this first weekend of the Premier League coverage. We have live football tomorrow evening from Hoffenheim in Germany, where Liverpool go into their qualifying live from the game that's taking place at the Wheelzone Rhein-Neckar Arena, as I say, Liverpool go to play Hoffenheim in the Champions League, and they will be without Philip Coutinho for that one, I'm told. So Liverpool looking to qualify for the group stage, where they've not been in since 2014, but no Philip Coutinho for the trip to Hoffenheim. But you'll be able to hear full commentary live from Germany, live from the game in Germany, on the YouTube channel tomorrow night. I hope you can join me for that one. But from this particular broadcast, thank you very much for watching. Great start to our Clarets match coverage this season. Let's hope that we can get more victories like that. We're back again next week, of course, next Monday in fact, for delayed commentary of West Bromwich, the visit of West Bromwich Albion to Turf Moor. Hope you can join me around about the same time, maybe a bit more earlier than we have done here, but until then, thank you very much for listening to the delayed coverage of today of Saturday's match with Chelsea. We'll do the same again next week. Hope you can join me then. Join me, of course, for the Liverpool match tomorrow in the Champions League. Until then, it's goodbye.